LIEnette blocked the mole and then unblocked the mole and sent this message here after the video revealing the messages to the mole and said, "I told you to stop contacting me. I've never said or done one thing against them or you. Please again, ma'am, leave my family alone." First of all, who is the mole? Is this mole truly a female or could it be a male? Could it be George? Could it be Jeremy posing as Heather? It could be anybody. I'm going to answer that question and so much more. You're going to love what LIEnette has to say today. This is just mind-blowing. So the mole, we'll call the mole Heather, even though that may not be the mole's actual name. Wouldn't it be ironic if I was the mole this entire time? Wouldn't it be ironic if I set up fake What the Hales hate pages just to further allow people to incriminate themselves? Wouldn't it be ironic? Perhaps even genius. Well, let's just stop right even there and see what LIEnette has to say. So the mole is talking about the live stream, saying, hey, right now Jeremy and George are talking about everybody's post right now. They're talking about everyone's post. Like if Chris or Paul say anything, they may think you're asking them to post for them. That's why I said be careful. In other words, third-party communication. LIEnette is speaking through others, which is third-party illegal communication. And then she says this, Heather. Really? Is that truly that individual's name? They are grown people. Read this. This is from LIEnette's word herself. Heather, they are grown people I have never met. Okay, LIEnette says she has all these supporters, all these friends, never met them. Debunk. It's fun when LIEnette actually does the debunking for us, isn't it? They are grown people I have never met. I am not having anyone do anything at all that would jeopardize my child, my life, my freedom. Plus, that is not who I am at all. All right, so we finally got a true confession out of LIEnette. She's never met any of these individuals, anyone. She has never even met Marli Huge. She doesn't know who any of these people are, yet she begs them to contact her. And then she carries on conversations. Then she blocks them, unblocks them, keeps communicating, blocks them, unblocks them, keeps communicating. Literally the definition of insanity. Now, this is where it gets really good. So, the mole says, I know, but who knows what the judge and the jury in federal court may say. Now, this is extremely important right here because this screenshot will be used in court. LIEnette says, in her own words to the mole, ugh. First, we have to get the ugh in there. No, it's right there. Look, right there in the white. Ugh. Anyone would say humans have freedom of speech and can do whatever they want. Just because I know them doesn't mean I'm ordering to do anything. Quite the opposite. I want everyone to do what's good for them, and I'm dealing with my stuff on my own. Whoa! Whoa. This is LIEnette, who's literally crying to Judge Craig DeBiasis, saying Jeremy is ordering all of his people to do these things. She's literally said in court, he's telling them not to contact me, and everybody knows that means to contact me. Like, what kind of childish game is this? Opposite day? Are we just going to all of a sudden just claim in court? Well, it was opposite day for Jeremy. He said don't contact anyone. Therefore, he obviously meant contact them. I mean, how ridiculously foolish. She just proved my entire case with this text. There is freedom of speech, which is First Amendment right, correct? You know that, I know that. We all know that, okay? It's protected speech. Now, there is There is character defamation as well, which is lying about somebody, such as LIEnette did on the signs, which we're going to see what LIEnette has to say about the signs here, which is illegal. If you can't prove it, it's a lie, and it's assassination of their character, which is what she's tried to do, is destroy my character, my integrity, people's trust in me. And now she's claiming that anybody literally can say anything because they all have freedom of speech. Whoa! That is not what she's saying in court. That's not what she's saying in court at all. She's claiming that I have control over the planet. So, we've got to do it. Oh, debunking. It just makes me feel so good. Oh, it makes me feel so good. I love it. All right, this is a pretty powerful text because LIEnette literally, for the first time, understands the law. Humans have freedom of speech. They can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. Because I know them doesn't mean I'm ordering them to do anything. Because I know George doesn't mean I've ordered her to do anything. Because I know Deanna doesn't mean I've ordered her to do anything. Because I know Travis doesn't mean I've ordered him to do anything. Because I am an online personality on YouTube doesn't mean I've ordered anybody to do anything. As a matter of fact, I have kindly and friendly requested that everybody not contact anybody when I share What the Hale's news. These are the issues of my life. I will deal with them the appropriate way, as I've said over and over and over again. And now LIEnette wants to actually copy me again. These individuals do nothing but imitate me over and over and over again. And now, within this secret private text messaging back and forth, she proves the entire court case, the entire law as it is, that I am not responsible for what anybody has said, what anybody has done, except for me. There is that area of unprotected speech, and we've seen it in the signs. And I think it's pretty funny that there are individuals out there that don't believe these signs exist. Now, there are two individuals that actually saw these signs and picked them all up off of Otter Creek, off of Route 19, off of the State Route 24, off of the roads around Otter Creek. So Brett Granger was one, and Mayor Zim was the other. Between the two, they picked up all of the signs. Then they brought them to the schoolhouse. Then we gave them to our lawyer. And we even had them shipped to Ohio for court. They were in Ohio court, which you couldn't see them because we didn't have video footage of Ohio court. Then we brought them back to Florida, which they are now in a secure location in Florida with our lawyer. And so the mole says, ask Shart about the signs. Who is the other person that wrote the signs? Now, you can see immediately LIEnette sends a message, deletes a message. Again, full-on incrimination of herself here. Ask Shart if she was the other one who wrote the signs. LIEnette responds, immediately deletes, because she knows what she wrote is incriminating. Okay, and then the mole goes on to say, that's a question I got this morning. Well, I was asked this question this morning. And then LIEnette goes on to say this about the signs before she dirty deleted. And she says, those signs were created by someone else. No one has even seen them. One sign being put in a garbage bag. That's only one sign that's ever been seen by anyone. There's no pictures of signs. There's nothing. Okay. There is nothing. Okay. And then she goes on to talk about Shart. And by the way, we're getting into the Constitution of the United States again. All right. There's nothing. See Shara. It says see Sarah. Now, I'm not joking. This is how horrible this woman is with talk to text. See Sarah right under my pointer finger right there. Should say Shart. There is nothing. Shart lives in upper state in the United States. She's never been here, so no, she did it. Hold a second. So she's never been here, so no, she did it. Well, right here, LIEnette is saying that Sharp did it. She did it. See that right under my finger? She did it. LIEnette is saying in this text that Sharp is actually guilty for writing these signs. You really just spended me because you're saying I made designs. I didn't. I've never seen a sign. I've never written a sign. Shame on you. How dare you? Ugh. Okay, well, let's go on in regards to this. So, LIEnette says nobody's ever seen a sign. That's her first thing that she says. Nobody has ever even seen these signs. Then she goes on to communicate that there's only been one sign in a garbage bag. So let's just go ahead. We just debunked her. Obviously, people have seen the signs because she herself has seen them, saying that they've been in a garbage bag. So there's a whole basis of debunking right there, right? Okay, so now let's go through everybody who has seen these signs. Number one, Brett Granger saw the sign, picked him up with Madam Mayor Therese on the golf cart, picked up half of them. Zim Pageant picked up the other half of them. Those two then met at the schoolhouse, gave them to Deanna. Deanna took pictures of every single one of them, sent them to us. And then we had Deanna, who was now in possession of these signs, shipped them to us, which went to Eli, our lawyer in Ohio. And then we went and took those signs all into the courtroom in Ohio. So Eli has seen them, all of them. Now, I've said in the past that there are 13. George has corrected me that there's 9 double-sided back and forth. I thought there was 13. I have held them all. I've had them all in my hands. I don't have them currently. But there are 9 double-sided back and forth. I have pictures of every single side. I have the handwriting forensics experts report, which I paid a lot of good money for, that has pictures of all of the signs. I have the signs currently in a secure location with my lawyer in Florida, because then when I went back to Florida, we took all of the signs back to Florida, and then we gave them to Randy Shockett. Randy Shockett now has them in a secure place, and they will be all unveiled in the federal case for defamation, extortion, and all the torts that we have going against her. So we have a number of individuals who have seen these signs. Let's just count them together, okay? First of all, LIEnette, she did them. Crook, he saw them as well. So we already know, without any doubt whatsoever, LIEnette wrote half the signs. We also know there was somebody else who wrote the other half. We haven't narrowed down to who we think it is. We believe it was potentially one of the rug addicts that was on LIEnette's property. Now, here's a list of all the known rug addicts that we know that have been on LIEnette and Crook's property. Now, you see that Chad is highlighted there. That's the individual that Crook pulled out a pew-pew on, and we're going to talk about that. I have all the police reports. I have all the witness information as well. We're going to get back to that. But number 6 there, Jess Munford. So this is one of the individuals that they allowed on their property, and they allowed to live there for free, and that they claim stole one of these tortoises as well. And so that is one of the main suspects, because she was on the property at that time, a known rug addict. And yet LIEnette continues to state that can't let anybody on the property because life-threatening disease and condition, right? For a child. Okay, and yet all these people just keep coming in. As a matter of fact, she has her grandson Landon there right now, who is literally barefoot in fecal matter. So he's probably going to get ringworm and some other issues as well. And then another dude that's there that is not her grandson. And yet she claims, that's right, that she claims nobody can be around this child. And yet now Lloyd is living on the property. I know you're laughing right now. You said it was Floyd with the camper. That was a joke. It's Lloyd. Remember Floyd from the Andy Griffith show? It's Lloyd that they are taking advantage of. And so you have all these individuals on the property. Now let's think about these 2 young children that are on the property right now. Number 1 being Landon, and then the other being another individual who should not even be participating in this. You got to ask your question, why are they there? Oh, she's been working so hard to get criminals to do their community service on her property. Do you think there's a possibility that her grandson actually got in trouble with the law as he's flicking people off underneath their makeshift fence and their makeshift driveway and their makeshift turd purgatory and their makeshift everything? Do you think he's having to actually work off community service with this other individual? And if so, because LIEnette's so proud that this is a place for individuals who could work off their community service, even though she keeps saying nobody can be around the child, even though nobody even knows where the child is right now, because last time Levy County Sheriff was out there for over a half an hour, nobody even heard the child. LIEnette wasn't even screaming and yelling at the child. Where's the child? Is the child drugged up on melatonin? What's going on? Because there's more people out on the property right now. Nobody knows what's going on. That's what's going on. This is complete and total insanity. And this woman is letting people, criminals, come in and work off their community service time as she's claiming nobody can be around this child. Yeah, debunking. Debunking yet again. She's saying, how dare you say that I designed these signs? I did these signs. Well, it's pretty easy to say that when you have a handwriting forensic expert who's actually done all of the digging, all of the investigative work. And as LIEnette ran back to Levy County Court again and again and again and wrote the name Jeremy Hales, wrote Ohio, wrote Levy County again and again and again, the same words that are on all these signs. And then to compare them with what's on these court documents. That's how dumb she is. She's literally that dumb. She wouldn't even be in federal court right now. This is the amazing thought, okay? She wouldn't be in federal court right now if she never did any of this. All of this would never even exist if she just shut her mouth. You know, that poop hole? If she would have just shut her mouth. They've caused problems with everybody in Otter Creek. Mostly us, but with everybody in Otter Creek. Creating hate pages, talking about everybody, gossiping, backbiting. And remember, she says she's a minister. The Bible says, number one, those who lie, they are the lawless. They know nothing of the law. In other words, and you understand, I think many of you understand the aspect of giving of the law to Moses for the chosen people, for the Israelites. And then there's this aspect that they are lawless. They don't follow God. In other words, this individual who continues to lie and lie and lie and lie, well, that's why her name is LIEnette, has no clue who God is. Doesn't follow God, doesn't do anything in regards to bring him glory. All right? That's the whole hypocrisy. That's the whole oxymoron of it. That's the whole fun of debunking this. Literally, she's trying to say she's a minister. To who? The turtles? They're trying to break out. For what? So she can try and grift more money? I mean, this is the insanity of it all across the street from us in Otter Creek. The mole, whoever it may be, is it Jeremy? Is it George? Well, goes on to say, hey, I'm not blaming you, but he said on his video that they will find out who it is, and they have before you they have before you throw them under the bus to have all the charges dropped. He's trying to get people to turn on you. In other words, what we said on a live stream, which is still very true. The other person who did it, if you come forward, we will not press federal charges against you for defamation and for extortion and for tort law and things along those lines. If you come forward and you share who you are and that you actually give testimony against LIEnette, and we don't need it, we already have a forensic expert, then we will not press charges against you. Well, LIEnette then goes on to respond this way. They will never tell who did it because he did it. All right. So this is the interesting part. All right. So signs show up all over Otter Creek. All right. We have a forensic handwriting expert that says, yes, 100% LIEnette did half of these signs. And I'm in Ohio when they sign up. Can we all just debunked? I mean, George is in Ohio. Debunked? Come on. Can we? On three. Let's say it together. 1, 2. Debunked! Yet again. All right, so she's claiming that I did it, even though these were all found in Otter Creek. That particular day, Zim will be giving testimony in court. Brett and Madam Mayor Therese will be giving testimony in court, and I'm in Ohio. So what's this magical thing that she must think that I found in a storage unit that allows me to time warp from Ohio to Florida back to Ohio? Interesting, right? Very, 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 very interesting. So now she's claiming I did the signs. We already have all the proof. She did the signs. And we subpoenaed the receipts from the store where she got all the supplies for the signs. We have that as well. And then she goes on to say, trust me, we're watching everyone's writing. We're watching trust me. Which is the funniest part, because how do you trust a pathological habitual liar? You don't. You never would. You don't trust an individual like this. She says, trust me, we're watching everyone's writings around him. We know certain letters. We know certain way. Talk about a stalker. Yeah, it's right here. They know everybody who writes around me. They know our letters. They know our certain ways. Stalker much? Oh my goodness. We know certain letters were written a certain way. I don't write that way. I use cursive. Printed. And remember, she doesn't use swear words, right? Right there. What's that word right above my pinky finger? That's not shirt. Printed blank is hard for me. Ask to see all the signs. Seriously, ask. She's going to see all the signs. The planet is going to see all the signs. How ridiculous for somebody who already knows they're guilty, who actually has an expert going to show the court. I have the full report already. It's a very expansive report, many pages, talking about the intricacies of how the letters match from all of her court documents to all of the signs, each letter, each phrase, each word. And so we already have it. It's done. It's completed. The only thing that has to happen is the forensic handwriting expert will be flying into federal court to testify against LIEnette. Now, why didn't Silverscam want to actually depose the forensic handwriting expert? Because she'll make mincemeat out of him. Because he's a fool. He knows nothing about forensic handwriting. This forensic handwriting expert is going to bury LIEnette and Silverscam in court. I mean, it's open and shut. It's a done deal. 100% proven it is LIEnette. And LIEnette is going around saying, ask to see all the signs. Seriously, ask to see them all. Now, I'm not positive. I think we've shown them before. If not, let me see if I can find them. Number 1, we've got this. Okay? Number 2, we've got this. All right? Number 3, we've got this. Remember, double-sided. Wait, is that cursive? She only writes in cursive. Number 4, by the way, these are exhibits. You can see Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Side A, Side B. All right, number wherever we're at right now. Okay, then we have all the receipts for her purchasing all these supplies. Could have been her or Crook. The receipt doesn't tell you exactly who, but it does tell you who has the supplies. We went back. All right, let's keep going. I mean, this is great, right? This is what... Want to see them all? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to keep going. Keep on going. Keep on showing. All right. I think you guys get the gist here, right? Okay, there's four more. I'll show you the other 4. Just because this is the most concerning one right there, as you see wrapped, my daughter. Interesting. Claiming Jeremy Hales did that, and yet there's not a single police report. Now, that individual who wrote that sign should be jailed as if they're the one that did that to a daughter. Now, if you're going, okay, what's going on here? There's 3 more. As you can see right up top, that's sign number 9, side B. Okay, and the 2 more to show you here. 1 and 2 right there. All right, that's it. That's all of them. So to ask to see them, well, there they are. I mean, clear as day. Anybody and everybody will get to see them in federal court as well, as you watch LIEnette squirm deep down into that seat. When a lawyer, she has to have a lawyer. She will not be able to defend herself. When a lawyer tells her to shut her mouth. Probably the most concerning thing to me is that any individual out there viewing, watching, literally would not be infuriated by somebody saying and posting these same things about them. Anybody who would sit there and go, I can't believe Jeremy, he's so mean, going after that old lady. He always has problems with old ladies. No, I have a lot of old ladies who I love very dearly and love me as well. This is the issue. When an old lady says and thinks she can do anything and get away with it with no accountability. Now, we've got Marilyn Raby in Ohio who illegally turns off electric, water, illegally changes the locks. Yep, that was a court issue that she created. I had nothing to do with it. It was a court issue between her and her partner. And she created it. I had nothing to do with it. Now, how did this happen in Otter Creek? She created it. Mary in Town Hall. She created it. Mary stole from me. LIEnette stalked me. LIEnette defamed me, told lies about me, tried to assassinate my character, my integrity, who I am as an individual. You better believe I'm going to fight with every last penny to, number 1, clear my name. Number 2, make sure this never happens to anybody else again. And if you out there are thinking, oh my goodness, Jeremy has gone too far, get lost. This happens to you next if she gets away with it. And if you think that is crazy, wait until you see this. So, LIEnette is informed that DUI guy Larry is in Levy County, as you can see right here. I think most people already know that we get visitors in Otter Creek. And LIEnette goes on, yes, we know. They made sure we knew. Odd that she didn't say Jeremy ordered, directed, or anything in regards this time. How is it that I didn't have anything to do with this, but I have everything to do with everything else? The mole then says, okay, just be careful because he's one of the lawyers. And she says, we're aware. I'm more worried about them unaliving us and napping my child. What psychosis goes through somebody's mind to say such horrific things? Now, Larry's a lawyer. Could Larry pursue defamation of character? And by the way, he's a lawyer who could represent himself. He doesn't have to pay $162,000 out of pocket right now like I have. So for this individual to even then further defame other people, to try and assassinate their character, just is mind-boggling to me. So she lies, says she's scared to death, won't even leave her property. Then she asks Judge DeThomasis for legal advice. Can I run for my city council? Wait, are you scared to leave your property or not? Now you're going to say that a lawyer is in town and they're going to unalive you and start napping children? If you're a supporter of LIEnette out there, do me a favor. Move her in with you. If you don't want her to live with you in the same home, I mean, if you're so concerned, if you're so supportive, please, by all means, prove it. Prove it. For once, just please prove it. Move her in with you. If you're going to support her, support her. She's looking for an 8th husband, maybe an 8th wife. Move her in with you. If you support all of this garbage, Seriously. If you may not say, I don't have room, great. Give her access to your property. Let her trash your property. Let her trash the people in your neighborhood. Let her sit there and yell and scream profanity at everyone. Let her sit there and cry and scream all over online that she's going to be unalived and children are going to be napping everywhere. Let her do it to your community, to the people you love, to your family, to the individuals around you. If you truly support her, get out there and do it for her. She goes on to say, Heather, are you aware of the threats? Are you aware of the very serious, unalive threats that I have had when people become fans of celebrities and they get starstruck and they get crazed people that have mental illness and mental issues and problems and do terrible things to you? Have you no idea what any of these fans or people are going to do to us? You have no idea. You've already read dozens of messages that talk about napping our child. You're taking this as a joke. It's just a freaking joke. It's a freaking tablet. It's a freaking free tablet. It's a freaking joke. It's a game being played. Okay, let's go back. Let's say, Jeremy, are you aware of the very serious unalive threats that have had when people become fans of celebrities? As a matter of fact, I am. You know what? I can prove it. Let me prove that for you. Let me show you that very, very, very clearly. With people with mental issues, with people with mental problems, are fans of celebrities. And then they get unalive threats. Yeah, I know all about it. I'm having to live it on a daily basis. I know way too much about it. I live it on a daily basis. When people with mental issues, with people with problems start stalking individuals such as myself. Yeah, I know all about it. Jeremy, are you aware of the serious unalive things? When fans of celebrities, they get starstruck, they get crazed people, have mental illnesses, mental issues. They do terrible things. What? Like set up signs everywhere saying that you did something to their daughter? Yeah, that will happen to you. Okay, like posting things all over the internet saying they have an appendage of their body in your significant other's mouth. Yeah, that will happen. Should we go on, or is this kind of enough? Like putting your private number out there on the internet, putting your address out there on the internet, enticing people to break in, telling people, hey, contact them, letting people know where you live and where you're not going to be to hope that they actually break in. Yeah, I'm aware of all this with people with mental issues, with mental problems, become fans of celebrities that freaking stalk them to a tiny town and purchase 1.66 acres across from their 70 acres and then make it a living nightmare for that entire town. And she wants to say, are you aware of the issues? She is the issue. He is the issue. Is this not hypocrisy at its highest point? She's literally describing herself and then saying it's a freaking joke. It's a freaking game being played. And she goes on to say it's just a freaking joke. It's a game being played and it's funny and ha ha ha. Well, let me tell you something. This is no joke to us. We're fighting for our very lives, and you don't get it one bit. I feel sorry for you. Let's be very clear who's fighting for their very lives. This is not okay to stalk anyone at any point in time, no matter what, whether you see them on YouTube, whether you see them anywhere else. On a daily basis, we are fighting for our rights, first of all, that have illegally been taken away from us. We are fighting for our own protection from these mentally insane individuals. Who in their right mind buys property across the street from somebody they saw on YouTube? Nobody ever saw this coming. Well, maybe you did. I didn't. You, the viewer, you probably thought, oh, well, I've seen this happen to other YouTubers. Never in a million years, ever in a million years, did I ever think that security would become so important, that not letting people know where you are would become so important, to the point where George and I, we wanted nobody to know where Hale's headquarters was. So we very intentionally, as part of our security plan, we made it sound like we weren't in Ohio. And that was for our protection. Now they went and put our information all over the internet. Now everybody knows where we're at in Ohio, to the point where there are times where the mayor here has offered extra patrol cars at our property. I don't want to be a burden on the police force. I don't want to be a burden on other people. We just want to live life. The only thing we've ever done different than anybody else in the world is picked up our cell phone and filmed what we do on a daily basis. And then the mole goes, they don't strike me as those kinds of people. As LIEnette. You think LIEnette could be any more dramatic here? I mean, talk about drama. Save the drama for your mama, drama llama. Like, this is ridiculously dramatic. And the mole, which I know you still want to know who the mole is. Jeremy, is the mole you? I'll get there. They don't strike me as those kinds of people. They're just there to do a live with Jeremy and then leave again. She's talking about our guest. I'm not taking any of this as a joke. Who's been the one person who's been getting you the inside information? Well, when I first hear of it, who's the one person that has more insider information about all of this than anybody else? That would be me. That would also be George. George and I have more insider information than anybody in regards to this situation. All right, so we're going on to more messages. By the way, this goes back, and I haven't even gone as far back as it can go. And so it goes on to say, this is only one side of the story, and you better Denmark. Okay, so I hope you understand when she did her talk to text and it says Denmark there. She meant to say the D word. You better blank make sure. That's what she meant to say, but it picked up Denmark. You better blank the D word, make sure, know what you're talking about when you make allegations. One side of a story can be twisted and turned to make it look like anything they want it to look like. Well, let's just pause right there. How in the world can you twist something that is absolute truth? Now, this is the problem with our culture today. You have what's called relative truth and absolute truth. Now, you already know what absolute truth is. 1 + 1 = 3? No, that's not true. That's false. 1 + 1 = 2. That's absolutely true. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do can make that untrue. That's absolute truth. Now, in our culture today, they want to claim this relative truth. They'll often say, my truth. This is my truth. Okay, just because you claim it as your truth doesn't make it any more true than 1 + 1 = 3. So they can sit there and go, my truth is 1 + 1 = 3. That's not true. As a matter of fact, that's complete and total ignorance and stupidity. Absolute truth. That's evidence. That's timeline, screenshots. It can't be altered. There is only one way to look at it. Absolutely. With the truth that is in it. For example, handwriting expert talking about LIEnette, 100% absolutely. She did this. That's absolute truth. There is only one way to look at anything. You can't sit there and start twisting it when you look at absolute truth. The only way that the reality gets twisted is when you start this, my truth, this is my truth, that's their truth. We all have our own truth. No, we don't. True is true. There's nothing that you can do to make truth not true. You can't just say, well, this is my truth. And if you're one of those individuals, I'll say this very boldly to your face, who goes, well, this is my truth, this is what I think is true, doesn't make it any more true. You might want to look in the mirror and see how ignorant you look. 1 + 1 = 2. And if your truth is 1 + 1 = 3, you got some major issues. You probably have some of those mental issues that LIEnette was actually addressing about herself. Allegations are one-sided. of a story, and it can be twisted and turned in to make it look like anything they want it to look like. But when you add the other side of the story, what side of the story is that? The truth of the story begins to look a whole lot different. Oh, okay. So this is her truth, relative truth. You know, that she's never seen a sign, that she's watching everybody around me and their handwriting and the letters they make and how they make the letters, and she's never seen a sign. Nobody's ever seen a sign, yet everybody, I mean, I give you a list of everybody's seen the sign. There are no rug addicts on her property, although I have a list. I even showed you a list of the rug addicts on the property. John never pulled out a firearm, yet I just showed you a screenshot. It's absolutely true. These things have happened. And she goes on to say, then you get the other side of the story, the truth. The story begins to look a whole lot different. And I'm not allowed to answer those questions yet, but I will be. And I'm going to do it in court, the court of law. And I'm starting my own lawsuit. We're looking for attorneys right now. Well, they found some extremely ignorant attorneys that want to claim that they're counsel from afar, who have all kinds of legal problems themselves. You think they're going to help LIEnette? Nope. She'll further be incriminated by her own mouth and by theirs.